Oh my goodness. Once again, I mean, tell me you're getting tired of this theme of me arriving for our morning meditation and saying, "Oh, I'm so grateful to be here. And it's just the right thing at the right time." But truly, um, I just left a bit of a flurry of communications uh, with my siblings. Three of my four siblings. I have three sisters and one brother. And our mom died about 5 years ago, and our dad has Alzheimer's. And so we're just in the position none of us want to be in, you know, nobody wants to be in a position where they're, um, I mean, I was going to say where they're taking care of vulnerable people, but that's not true because all of you who are parents have done that. People do choose to take care of vulnerable people. And truly, there is something very affirming and powerful and important about that, right? I actually heard a wonderful interview over the weekend. Scott Simon does NPR's Weekend Edition program in the mornings, and he was interviewing a long-term correspondent who was retiring, and he'd covered all kinds of tragedies and calamities and natural disasters. He was in the Astrodome at Katrina, and he was talking about his career and highlights and memorable moments and things. And he said that he remained very optimistic because in all of these cases where he had seen terrible things happen, he also saw people rush in to help, because that's our nature, is to want to help. And sometimes we don't know what to do to be helpful, right? Like with my siblings. So we had the little scenario that we're managing this morning is youngest brother, baby brother. I don't think any of them will watch this. So yeah, baby brother, who's a grown, competent adult, got an offender bender and doesn't have collision insurance, doesn't have the money to cover the repairs to his car. Sister, who helps manage dad's finances, says, just checking to make sure that everybody agrees that under normal circumstances, dad would help with this situation. But brother asked dad for help. Dad said, I don't have any money, because dad doesn't know that he does in fact have money. So sister says, just want to assume that everybody is of the same mind, that under normal circumstances, he would help. And so, it's so that it's okay that I do so from his account. And of course, no, there's not a consensus about that. And sisters left saying, I just was checking, I just assumed, and I just want a consensus. And me too. We all want, right? We all want to agree. We all want consensus, but can we and do we? No. So here we are then, feeling alone, and overwhelmed and burdened maybe with the responsibility of having to make difficult decisions for ourselves, and then sometimes for others too. So I wanted to help her. I wasn't sure how. Luckily, I know, though, when I return to this space with you all, what I can do to help all of us from here is to come back to metta practice. So I hope that I've shared that with you enough that when you hear the word metta practice, that you feel a little lightness, or that it sparks some sense of power. And if I haven't, please forgive me, because this is one of the most influential practices that I've been gifted by teachers, and that I continue to gift myself with. And the incredible thing about metta practice, and metta often is translated as loving kindness, um, is the structure with which I was taught and that I share with you. And that is a structure that is inclusive of ourselves and our beloveds. And in fact, the truly traditional nature for a formal metta practice also includes the difficult person, but that's like maybe not for Monday morning. Maybe it is for Monday morning. I don't know. But I think it's lovely to just start with one other person. And maybe anybody who you know well, the relationship is probably somewhat complicated. And when we do this, and maybe I'll walk you through the the more formal practice this morning. And the idea is that it is easiest at the beginning, it gets harder as we extend. But because we've built up the foundation of the connections and the intention at the beginning, it makes the end part easier, even though it might be harder to start with. So see first that you are here. Make sure that your posture, your body, your breath are accessible, that your posture is intentional, that your senses are attuned to the space that you're in, but not overwhelmed or distracted. So it's relevant if the lights are too bright or not light enough. I have my fig candle. It's my favorite. I just got a new batch of these too, actually. If anybody is in Anchorage and wants them, I have some extras that I can sell you if you want. So it's relevant to what we choose to highlight, or to bring into our practice space. So you might notice at least one thing, like I did with the fig candle. You might notice one thing in your environment, and maybe it's internal, maybe it's a feeling that arises when you're breathing that's pleasant. And notice something that's pleasant. And your presence here with what is pleasant. And if there's an intention that brought you here this morning, I'd also encourage you to bring that to mind, and then also maybe offer a little cheer or a little encouragement or a little gratitude for, like, you're not just thinking about this intention, you're here, you're doing it. It often feels somewhat uncomfortable or challenging, so I think it's very helpful to weave together the threads of intention to help to buoy some of the heaviness of the effort of doing it. Okay, so our metta practice, our loving kindness practice, includes 4 phrases that I'll offer you an idea about, and you can and should feel free to edit them so that you find words that resonate for you. The ones that I use may or may not, but the general theme of the phrases is important. So the first one is a request, a hope, an intention that we be safe and protected from harm. May we be safe and protected from harm. May I be safe and protected from harm. Next, may we be contented, peaceful, even joyful or delighted. May I be joyful. May I be healthy, strong, resilient, and navigate this human experience and its inevitable difficulties. May I be strong, healthy, resilient. And may my path unfold with ease. May it be clear. May I be clear. And you might find, and sometimes I do find when I practice reciting these phrases, and it's kind of the default to when something feels off. Sometimes I'll hear one come to mind, and I'll say, oh, that's what's wrong. Is that I don't feel very certain about this aspect, or this is what I need. So if that's your experience, you might go back to the phrase about safety, about contentment or joy, about resilience and health, or about ease and clarity, and repeat that one several times until you feel like, okay, that one's become a bit more formidable. I'm filled up more with it. And then you might, once you are filled up with this potential of the qualities of these phrases, we can try extending it. So here's where, in the formal practice, we would extend it to the easiest possible being. So maybe like to your kitties or your dog or a beloved, person in your memory, or an inspiring figure, somebody with whom you don't have a very complicated relationship. Someone who's been very, very benevolent and loving towards you. So it's easy to extend the same to them. May they be safe and protected. May they be joyful. May they be healthy. May their path be clear. And we can extend from there to a relatively neutral person. So it could be a neighbor who you recognize but don't know, or someone you've met casually, or might recognize but don't know a story about and don't have any personal reliance on or connection to. And then for that person, and for all the people maybe who you might have an awareness of today, may they be safe and protected. May they be joyful. May they be healthy, resilient. And may their paths unfold with ease. Okay, and then hopefully we've filled up with these intentions and have enough to extend to more difficult or more complicated people. So maybe that's siblings and spouses and coworkers. May they complicated, maybe activating, or even possibly sometimes difficult people. May they too be safe and protected from harm. May they be content, joyful. May they be resilient and strong, healthy. May things become clear for them. May their paths unfold with ease. Okay, and then for all beings, for all of us here, for all of them there, for everyone in between, past, present, and future beings, little tiny ones and enormous ones, may all beings be safe and protected from harm. May all beings be contented and know joy. May all beings be resilient and healthy. May all beings become clear. May their paths unfold with ease before them. And coming back to the beginning again with our awareness of our bodies, our breath, the pleasant thing that's here with us. Maybe it's grown. Maybe there's another. On behalf of all beings, especially all of those who found their way into your beautiful practice of intention and love and kindness this morning, thank you for your practice. May you be safe and content and resilient and clear. On behalf of my sisters, thank you for your practice. I hope to see you again soon. Namaste.